Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex, Senior Account Executive at GDMFX with your morning European session outlook. And we'll start with the North American markets, where we had the labor market conditions index come out 0.3 points worse than expected. And the housing starts from Canada year on year come out 1.9 thousand worse than expected. Netanyahu meets with Obama on military aid. President Barack Obama told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that while their differences are well known, the US and Israel have many shared interests and goals that they must work together to advance. Netanyahu is trying to increase US military assistance to $4.5 billion, and he's trying to also repair relations with the US Democrats. Yesterday, the Dow was 16 points down, and the Nasdaq ended 55 points down. The Dixie is slightly up to 99.06 from 98.98. Today we have Tier 2 news, and that is the 10-year note auction. Tomorrow is a holiday in the US, so investors will be waiting mainly for the Fed's members to hold their speeches on Thursday, where they are expecting to hear further information on the interest rate increase during December. All right, on to the EU markets. Early this morning, we had the unemployment rate from Switzerland come out at, as expected, at 3.4%. Also, European countries most affected by the refugee crisis may be granted some leeway on fiscal rules for a limited period of time, the head of the Eurozone finance ministers said yesterday. And secondly, Portuguese Prime Minister Pedro Passos Coelho, whose government faces a vote that may topple it in the opposition-dominated parliament, warned on Monday that leaving the path of reforms and meeting Eurozone commitments would be ruinous for the Portuguese. The leftist majority seeks to reject the program in the vote that is likely to take place today, and then form a socialist-led government. The DAX 30 was 190 pips down, and the CAC 40 was 80 pips down. Today, most important news will be the EcoFin meeting later today, and tomorrow's speech by Mario Draghi, where we always see a movement. In the UK, the FTSE 100 fell 0.9% to end at 6295.16. Overnight, we had the retail sales data year on year at negative 0.2%, which is 2.8% less than previous. The cable ended 70 pips higher yesterday, and today's most important news is the inflation report hearings. Inflation is one of the key factors taken into account for raising the interest rates, as we know. All right, in the Asian and the Pacific markets, China's consumer inflation moderated in October, official data showed Tuesday. The latest indication that demand remains weak in the slowing economy. The Nikkei 225 had a range of 350 pips. It ended on a doji, and it's 247 up today. Overnight, we have the Chinese news, which are the retail sales and industrial production. In the Pacific, we had the New Zealand electronic card retail sales month on month, 0%. It's down from 0.9%. And the year on year, 5.6%, down from 6.1%. We had Australian home loans come out at 2%, up from expected 0%, and investment lending for homes, negative 8.5%, which is down from previous negative 0.1%. In Australia, the gradual recovery in the non-mining sector is gaining traction. Recent outcomes from business surveys support this reading, while the unemployment rate is holding steady. In addition, partial indicators for quarter 3 GDP suggest a high outcome. The Royal Bank of Australia appears to concur with this assessment and chose to hold off further monetary policy easing, despite some tightening of financial conditions. Low inflation, however, does provide room for Royal Bank of Australia to ease although this would require evidence that local demand conditions are falling, and more concrete evidence that housing demand is easing. Royal Bank of Australia is expected to remain on hold for a considerable period. Later tonight, we have the Royal Bank of New Zealand Financial Stability Report and Governor Wheeler's speech. In commodities, oil supply outside OPEC will cease growing by 2020 as spending cuts that started this year take their toll on the global industry. This is according to the International Energy Agency. Gold had a range of $7, trading at $1,093 now. Silver had a range of 35 cents at $14.48 now. Crude oil had $1.60 range at $44.06 now, and natural gas is trading at $2.31 at the moment, with a range of 11 cents. Alright, thank you everybody. This was today's European Session Outlook. My name is Alex, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.